you up from this old ground. Out of chaos, life is being found in you. You make beautiful things. You make beautiful things out of dust. You make beautiful things. You make beautiful things Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. I see generation rising up to take their place. Selfless faith, selfless faith. I see a near revival, stirring as we pray and sing on our knees. We're on our knees. Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. Heal my heart and make it clean. Open up my eyes to the things unseen. Break my heart for what have loved me. Break my heart for what breaks yours. Everything I am for your kingdom's cause. As I walk from earth into eternity. Heal my heart, make it clean. Open up my eyes to the things unseen. Show me how to love like you have loved me. Break my heart for what breaks yours. Everything I am for your kingdom's cause. As I walk from earth into eternity. Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. Hosanna, Hosanna, I am so sorry I couldn't find new jokes. Thank you, Brooklyn. I love those jokes. I do have new jokes. I just haven't gotten them up yet. Ready for? Okay. If you didn't know, there is an app called Dad Jokes, and I didn't know it existed until yesterday when my phone suggested it. So I was going to put some on, ran out of time, but they are wonderful. For instance, I don't trust stairs. They're always up to something. Or how about, my son's math teacher called him average. I think he's mean. It's so good. I literally, I love all, there's one that didn't make me laugh when I was reading these as for the first time. Did you know that protons have mass? I didn't even know they were Catholic. Stairs always bring you, oh, nice. Okay, so next week you can expect some new dad jokes there instead of just, the old ones. But, making a countdown takes time. So if one of you wants to make a countdown for me and put up new jokes every week, you are welcome to. I will tell you which programs you can use. I did shave. I was not joking on YouTube, on Instagram, that I shaved. I was joking by only showing you the upper part of my face, but I have not shaved in a while, and I thought, man, I wonder what my face looks like underneath all this hair. All this hair. I don't grow that much hair, but I wanted to try it out. So here's clean shaven Jared. The first time in my adult life I shaved like this was when I was playing Charlie Brown in a musical. And Charlie Brown did not have facial hair, so I needed to shave. Emily says that. I'll take that. I do look, but I don't look quite as young as I used to. I am curious, how young would you say I am based off of my face as it is now? I'm not aiming for young. I don't care about being young. I am fine looking older, too. Thanks, Garrett. Thanks a lot. Yes, I look 2. You said different. Okay. -7. You guys are jerks. I was looking for a real honest response about how old I looked, but instead I'm getting all of this. 32. Great. I only lost 2 years. Janelle says 26. Speaking of which, let's do some announcements. Okay. So this week we're going to do still the same stuff like Tuesday. Still going to be a video as long as Garrett and Gavin. Or do you have a video lined up for Tuesday? I do love me some Dungeons and Dragons. I can't get into that now. Don't get me on a tangent, Caleb. So, well, Garrett and Gavin don't yet, but we'll hopefully have a video for you on Tuesday. And hopefully Tuesday morning. So expect that on Tuesday. And if you don't, then you can complain to Garrett and Gavin that I'm putting on the spot literally right now. I have laughed every single video they've made. So keep up the good work. Yeah. So that's happening Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm still going to do Zoom devotions at noon. So whoever wants to join me at noon for some devotions on the Zooms, then I will do that. Some devotions and lunch. And yeah, oh man, I've loved all of your videos. I don't think anything has yet risen to the absolute glory of 19, the trailer. That is something that I would literally try and submit to be viral if there's a way to do that, which again, that was so well done, but they are all wonderful. Okay. So that is happening. Wednesday's Zoom devotions. Thursday, we're gonna try to bring back Quiplash Thursday. Hi, Jordan. So keep an eye on our Instagram and text messages for Quiplash Thursday. I had dropped it because attendance for it was dropping, and I was like, oh, it seems like people are kind of over it, so why keep doing it? But then a lot of people were like, let's do it again. So someone trashed the Minecraft server? No, that's so sad. Okay, we'll need to come up with a plan for the Minecraft server. We need a plan because it was also like fallen off, but I also have my first airship in there that's not in a video. Well, I guess it's still a video game, but I made it myself. Speaking of which, this is really nerdy. So I have a 3D printer, if you guys didn't know that. And Kickstarter, the new thing on Kickstarter is to sell STL files to 3D print. So, you know, they raise a bunch of money and then they produce the STL files and then you can print them. And tomorrow, I kickstarted one that's going to be released tomorrow, which is an STL file for an airship. So I'm gonna have like a little airship. I'm excited about that. So that's gonna happen. Okay, so that's the weekly schedule. There are two things that aren't happening on a specific day that I want to announce. First is someone, I won't say who, but someone is coming back as a leader. Are you ready for this? I don't know if you are. Okay, here we go. My gosh, that's really small. It's like, it's tiny, but there is the announcement. I couldn't actually hear how many times it went, if it cycled through it. But yes, Janelle is back. Janelle is officially back. She's in the chat there, so Janelle, you can say hey. She said my age looked 26 earlier, so spoiler. If you couldn't hear, I'm sorry. I forgot that I didn't add it, so I didn't test it out ahead of time, so I just kind of threw it in there. Janelle is back. Janelle is here. Janelle is excited. I am excited. You won't, technically get to see her in person until we all get to see each other in person. But yes, Janelle is back. There's one other thing that's going to be happening. Okay, so y'all wanted me on TikTok. And y'all said I should do Renegade Dance. Renegade, what was it technically called? Lottery, but everyone calls it Renegade. Okay, here's the deal. I downloaded TikTok, created an account, and absolutely hate everything about it. Sorry if you hate me for saying that out loud, but it literally drove me crazy. So here's the deal. I put on the restricted mode thing because the first thing that popped up was like people showing way too much skin, a whole bunch of F-bombs being dropped, like all over the place. So I'm like, oh, they have to have some kind of family-friendly mode or something. So I went to the settings, flipped that on, went back, and it was like, this hasn't changed much. It still is a whole bunch of inappropriate content. So here's the deal. Maybe my mind will change. If you feel like, Jared, you need to change your mind about TikTok, let me know. Maybe it'll change. Who knows? But in the meanwhile, while I'm thinking about this, praying about this whole TikTok thing, whether or not I'm going to get involved in it, it's because it's okay. So until then, I do have an idea that I think will be fun still. So we're going to do our own Renegade Challenge, but just not on TikTok. So I am going to make a dance. I'm going to do this dance. I'm going to learn it this week. I'm going to record it, and I'm going to put it up on Instagram. And here's what I want you to do. I want you all to learn the dance, record yourself doing it, post it on Instagram, and then tag, so do the hashtag VSM Renegade Challenge, and then also tag our Instagram account. I'm going to look at all of them. I'm going to, see them as they pop up, obviously. And then I'm going to make a montage video of all of the Renegade dances that we did that I can show next week. And I'm also going to choose a winner. And the winner is going to get a prize of undetermined nature because I didn't take the time to think of the prize, but I promise you it will be a wonderful prize that will help you get out of the house and treat you in some way. Treat yourself. So all y'all, and here's the deal. I cannot promise that I'm going to only award the best dancer. I am going to award the winner to the person who entertained me the most. So does that mean put on a costume and do the dance? Does it mean do it in the silliest way possible? I don't know. Whatever is the most entertaining video, I am going to choose that person. And the prize will be worth it. I promise you, this prize is going to be worth it. I'm not giving you an Xbox, but I'm also not giving you a $10 gift card. It's going to be somewhere in between that. It's going to be great. So please rock that challenge. Let your friends know. I was trying to communicate well, so I missed a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, so here's the deal. TikTok. Let me talk about TikTok just a little bit. Let me flip back to me. You can look at my clean-shaven face. Let me talk about TikTok and social media in general, because I've been thinking about it a lot this week. It's usually true to say that social media itself is not bad. It's how you use it. And that, for the most part, is true. It's also true of the internet in general. Like, the internet's not bad, but it's how you use it. However, the internet can be really bad for people who are exposed to things they shouldn't be exposed to at a young age. So for things like Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, okay, there are ways that you can completely avoid all of that exposure. TikTok, you download it, you start an account, and you open it up, and right away, like, it takes time for you to filter out all of the crap, which means that you're going to get exposed to all of the crap before you filter it out. And that's why I'm not entirely... So for those of you who are on TikTok, I'm not trying to say, like, hey, I'm judging you really hard for being on TikTok right now. But if I were to open up an account and then start to put content on there and then encourage students, high school and middle school students, to then hop on TikTok to see what I'm making, then they're going to have to be exposed to all of that other stuff before they can filter it out. So I would be risking exposing people to a lot of content that I'm just not comfortable exposing them to. Here's another... Pause. Garrett, I love that idea of you animating it. Okay. Here's another way of putting this. So if you didn't know this, which I'm pretty sure I've said this, my father was an alcoholic. So, like, all of my life, my father was an alcoholic until obviously he died. He was a smoker and an alcoholic. And that had a big effect on my childhood. So then... let's fast forward to the future. Is now I have family members who are more likely to become alcoholic. So you say, that's easy, just don't drink alcohol. But when you are young and impressionable, as we all are, and a bunch of your friends say, hey, we're all going to go out to the bar and drink. And we all, let's admit it, we have FOMO. We all have fear of missing out. And you're young, impressionable, with a whole bunch of FOMO, and all of your friends decide to go out and drink. How easy is it for you to say no? You could say no. You could very well say no, but it's not easy to say no. It's very difficult. And a lot of people just say, okay, that's fine. I'll just have one drink. Maybe I won't even finish it. And that's it. And for a lot of people, that's fine. That's the only drink they're ever going to have. But to people who are prone to alcoholism, who it runs in their family or whatever it is, they have addictive behavior, or they have addictive personality, then they drink that, and then it begins a cycle. It begins this downward spiral into alcoholism that they have very little power over. So I don't want to expose people to something that is dangerous, that could be potentially very dangerous for them. I think I've told you about my friend Dylan too. I had a friend in high school named, not Dylan, Destin. Silly Jared. And a different friend, Dylan. I had a friend named Dustin, and he was a really sweet kid. He was 1 or 2 years younger than me, and we were friends. We hung out outside of youth group occasionally. That's like the level we were at. We were friends. We would call each other friends. We didn't hang out every day, but we were friends. I liked the guy. Also a little bitter because he was the guy that all the girls liked, which means all the girls that I liked in youth group liked him. So really liked him, also hated him, both at the same time. Anyway, super sweet kid, super innocent kid, went off to college to UC Santa Cruz, which if you don't know the stereotype for UC Santa Cruz, for Santa Cruz in general, is that they're all hippies addicted to drugs. And it's true to an extent. He went to UC Santa Cruz. He was very impressionable, would follow the crowd. And that's what he did. He followed the crowd, ended up getting into drugs, fried his brain. So this person who was my friend for like 4 years in high school, I go back now to visit my hometown. He does not remember my name. He doesn't remember anything about me. His brain is so fried from the drugs. So that's the kind of thing. Now, TikTok is not drugs. And yet, there are negative things on TikTok that I don't want to expose people to. And if you want to get TikTok and your parents are okay with it, I just want to warn you, be very careful and be honest with someone about, like, if you do feel like you've been exposed to something and maybe you feel like you might go down the wrong path, or you're like, well, maybe I'm going to change this behavior. Maybe I'm going to start changing the way I talk and use some of these words because they're popular. Maybe I want to do this. Just include someone in this conversation and be honest with them, because most of your friends will talk you out of doing really stupid stuff. If you have good friends, then talk to those good friends, talk to your parents, tell them what you're thinking so that they can say, hey, no, that's stupid. That's just something that's really popular that's going to negatively affect you. This is an example of that, is always have people who are wise, who love you, have a long history with you, and who are okay telling you when you're about to do something stupid. Because we live in a culture that doesn't value that, and people do a lot of stupid stuff when they don't do that. The biggest example of this is people who get married to people they should have never gotten married to. I'm going on such a big tangent. People get married and the whole world around them knows this is a horrible choice and this is a horrible person for them and they're just a horrible person in general. And the person doesn't listen to their community, all these people that love them. So then they end up marrying this person and then divorce. And so all that to say, y'all need to have good friends who love you and can tell you no. And you need to have adults as well, because adults really want to share their wisdom and share their life experience. So please have some adults too, who you can say, hey, I encourage you to have a mentor who is not your parent too, because sometimes it's really awkward to talk to your parent for various reasons, like sharing something and having the double, like, I really like help with this. I also don't want to get grounded. So have an adult who's not your parent too, that you can share a mentor. That was a huge tangent talking about TikTok. Anytime you're doing something that you know is potentially dangerous, be careful. Don't encourage other people to hop into that thing too, because it might hurt them. And have people who can keep you accountable, who you can openly share what you're going through. Okay. Wow. Not even to the sermon yet, and I'm getting super deep. But I've been thinking about TikTok a lot this week because I downloaded it on Monday, and I've been thinking about it the whole week as far as what I wanted to do here, what I want to do with it. All that to say, let's transition and have some fun playing round 2 of Would You Rather? So I think you know the name of the game. I'm going to put up a Would You Rather, and you're going to answer in the chat which one you would rather do. Kind of went with a theme this week. So here we go. Ready? This is future-oriented Would You Rather. About your future. Here's what we're doing. Not the future, your future in particular. Would you rather have 10 kids or have no kids at all? Now, here's the thing is you can't pick in between. You got to pick one or the other. 10 kids or no kids at all. What's really worrying is, yeah, I knew it, Nathaniel. What's really worrying is when someone has a kid and they choose no kids at all. As I started saying that, I look over and I see your response. Yeah, at that point, it's a little bit late. Okay. Yeah, so if I were to go back, I would still want 10 kids. I wanted a large family, and I would still probably choose a large family, but I would want to like rapid fire those kids so that I wouldn't have toddlers until the day I die. Just saying. And I think adopting should count. I think for the sake of those adopted and for people who adopt, when you adopt a kid, that is your child. Like, sure, you didn't go through the birthing process, but that is your boy, that is your girl. So yeah. Yeah, call the girls one. There is yeah, nature. Nature is at play. Okay. Would you rather ride a bike to work or ride a horse to work? I also wonder if this is going to be split down gender lines. Let's see. Oh, no, Nathaniel, you guys all want horses. So I really like riding a bike, and I don't want to have to worry about where is safe to bring a horse and where is not. I would probably choose a bike. But horses would be pretty BA. Oh, yeah, yeah. Caleb, you just had to find a way of slipping in dirt bike, huh? Yeah, but you show up to work on a horse. Where do you put the horse? Electric bike, yeah, that'd be cool. But I actually really enjoyed riding a bike to work. How many miles is it from here to my house? I'm wondering, like, could I ride a bike? It would be work. I used to ride 6 miles to work. Now it is 22 miles. So that would be, let's see how much. So Google estimates a 2-hour bike ride. And I think that would be about accurate for me. I might be able to beat it after a little practice. Put the horse on the bike. That would work. That would totally work. Would you rather go to your dream college and have a ton of debt? Because it's not a lot of debt. It's a ton of debt. Or go to it's not all of them. Or go to an okay college and have no debt. We have, if you didn't know this, we have a ton of debt because Jamie was in a PhD program. And as soon as you call something a PhD program, they charge way more for those classes, even if it's the same classes for a master's program. So it probably depends on what the dream college is, because I really value education and having debt doesn't bother me that much. Honestly, unless you are stressed out by it, paying off student loans, you don't really feel it that much as long as you have enough money. If you don't have enough money, if you don't have a job that can pay it, then that's a problem. But I could see going either way on this. Probably depends on what you're going to school for. I have, 20,000 in debt, and that's not a lot in debt for college. Fun fact, if you thought finishing college with 20,000 of debt is a lot, then, well. All right, would you rather own a coffee shop or own a bakery? I can definitely tell you what I would do. I would want to own a coffee shop. Jamie and I have talked about owning a coffee shop for a while. We love coffee. Did we meet? I worked at the coffee shop on the college campus, and that might have been where we met. I feel bad not knowing. Okay, a little heavier on bakery. I would get fat so fast if I owned a bakery, so it is not good. Muffins are sold at coffee shops. I should not drink soda. It's gonna make me burp the whole time. Yeah, so I can't own a bakery, but I love coffee. I would love to own a coffee shop. I love that people sit in the coffee shop and you can talk to them. Like, I would love to have a ton of money and just be able to own a coffee shop and hire people to do all the coffee shop stuff and sit down and talk to all the customers. That would be my dream. Okay, here we go. Would you rather be a surgeon or be a college professor? So this is the question of, would you rather work tons of hours in a row or just work tons of hours throughout your entire week? Bluck? I don't understand, but that's okay. Yeah, but Janelle, you're already kind of in the medical field. I mean, you are in the medical field. Emily, what would you choose? What is your dream job? I don't know if I've ever asked you this. What is everyone's dream job? Throw it up. Throw it up in the chat. I want to know. My dream job is to mentor people younger than me, much as I am doing right now with all of you. I am in my dream job. I would also love to write. Hoppy shop owner. Nathaniel would like to be a hoppy shop owner. Caleb, for some reason, oh no, it is film actor. Yeah, okay. In my head, you were going to be stage actor. Well, Brooklyn, you can definitely do both. Because if you're going into the acting career, you probably need another job to make money until you make it. So you can definitely go into ministry and be an actress. Lots of good churches in LA. I can tell you about some of them. Nice, Kylan. No movies? You want to be a TV actor? Or no, I would like to be a movie actor. Yes. Gavin, yours definitely wins the best name. Yours will always win the best name. And that's saying something over aerospace engineer, which is pretty dang awesome. I would love to be an aerospace engineer, but that ship has sailed. I'm not going to go back to college to learn engineering. But the older I get, the more I love space travel and everything that goes into it. Yes, movies. You would like to be a movie actor. Okay. Got it. All right. I love it. I love it. The best, obviously, is Hoppy Shop owner. Yeah. Okay, Kyle, I'm sure you've seen Smarter Every Day. If not, you need to see Smarter Every Day. But he did the episode where they go into the rocket facility. If you haven't seen it, you need to see Smarter Every Day, where he goes into the I can't remember the plant. Can't remember the name of the company. Okay. Would you rather take every vacation to Disney World or take every vacation to New York City? For me, it is a hard Disney. It is like that's an easy answer. I have been to New York City twice, and I'm good. I don't need to go back there ever again. I went once for someone's graduation, and my first impression is, man, this whole city smells like urine. And then I went back on a missions trip, and I was like, man, this place still smells like urine, and I don't like this place. But I liked it more as a mission trip where I was ministering to people, for sure. Brooklyn, you went Disney. Okay, so you're criticizing New York City. I mean, right now, New York is not a great place to go. So if you had to take every vacation in New York City, you'd want to hold off a little bit until things have calmed down a little bit. For me, every time someone's talked about Disney World, it's been mixed. They loved it and they hated it at the same time, much like my friend Dustin. Like, everyone's like, it was so cool, but oh my gosh, it took like 3 hours to walk between parks. So it's always been like everyone loved it and hated it at the same time. Okay, would you rather always have the newest technology or always have the best food in the world? Oh man. So having been a bachelor and having to eat on stupid cheap food, I would probably choose newest tech. I don't care that much about having newest tech, but it would be nice. I can totally understand why someone would want to have the best food in the world all the time. Like, that would be really nice too, but I'm probably going to go with tech. I love how mixed these are. Disney, I think, was the most samey, except maybe horse. Was I the only one? I would think I was the only one who did bike, right? Get an electric bike. Okay. All right. Would you rather have a mansion or have a private jet? So here's the deal. Would the mansion come with people to clean it? Or do I have to pay for people to clean it? Because I quote, hate cleaning our already not huge house. So to then have a mansion would be over the top. So I'm going to go with private jet. I also love flying. I would get my pilot's license and then fly a private jet because that'd be awesome. Yeah, and then head over to Disney World whenever I wanted. Honestly, I prefer Disneyland, but if Disney World's the option, then I'll go there. But I love Disneyland. It's like home to me because I had a pass for a few years. Why aren't you clicking? There we go. All right. Would you rather be good at synchronized swimming or be good at chess? It is. It's totally expensive for the jet. However, I would still choose it because I would rather sacrifice money for that than a maid service. Would you rather be good at synchronized swimming or chess? I think I would choose chess because I tend to take a lot of unnecessary pride in my intellect. And I feel like being the best at chess is but then again, being good at synchronized swimming means being in shape. Unless you're just a fat synchronized swimmer, which I'm totally picturing that right now, and it's hilarious. Auto chess, yeah. You would, Nathaniel. I'm already good at auto chess. I've made it in the top 2% on that game. Okay. Would you rather always be first in the school lunch line or always be first out of the school parking lot? I am so out of this life, I don't care. I think I would have chosen lunch line because I was cool chilling in my car and listening to music. Like I never minded just listening to music in my car. But if you have to rush through your lunch and miss hanging out with friends, dude. I would always we had the actual cafeteria lunch line, and then we had a window outside for pizza, Domino's pizza, and I would always get pizza. Super healthy. That's why I am still in just peak physical condition. Would you rather be president of your student council or be the most popular person in school? I would rather neither because I don't want to go back to school. What would I want to do? Yeah, right. I don't know. You have to choose one, though. You absolutely have to choose one, and I'd probably choose president of student council. Being popular, man, it would feel so good, but I feel like that's just not good for you. Being too popular isn't good for you. You got to choose something. You got to choose something, Gavin. Nice, Kyle. Yeah, I would rather be in choir as I was. that was my dream, and I got to live that dream. Actually, if I did it again, I would try and do sports because I missed out on that. Golf team would have been awesome. Would you rather be captain of a sports team, speaking of sports, or president of the drama club? I know, Caleb. You want to be captain of the sports team, right? That's a lot of sports. If I had to choose, probably sports for me too. Even though I like acting, I don't know if I'd want to be president of it. I would enjoy, I don't know. I enjoy both. I would enjoy both, I guess. Would you rather be turned down for a dance by someone you like or be asked to a dance by someone you don't like? I had to put this in there since prom got canceled. But yeah, would you rather be turned down for... I would definitely rather be asked to a dance by someone I don't like. Sure, it might be awkward. I would just say yes and go. But man, being turned down for a dance... I was already such an emo high schooler So emo. I would sit on AOL Instant Messenger because that was the thing and just wait for friends to be online. And I was like such a depressed personality. Oh, you would not have liked me in high school. Yeah, I think everyone chose the same. You know, finding out that you're liked by someone you don't like is much better than finding out you're not liked by the person you like. That's just, it's an easy one. Okay, would you rather, the last one, have access to the teacher's lounge or be able to drive the school bus? These are both so funny. To me, it's like the option of wearing a suit to school just so I could like sit in the teacher's lounge and say, "Hey Jim, how you doing?" Versus, yeah, like I would pretend to be the bus driver from Sky High. Have you guys seen Sky High? If you haven't seen Sky High, oh my gosh, it's such a wonderfully cheesy movie. We introduced Leland to it, and he now loves it, which is great because anytime he can love a movie I love, that's a win. And yeah, he loves superpowers. So for a while, he's like, "That's my power," and it started off with like super strength, and it got to like playing the ukulele was his power. And I'm like, "Kid, I don't think you understand this game." But yeah, I'd probably choose the teacher's lounge. I think so, unless I could drive the school bus to like some empty lot and then play paintball around the bus, like use the bus as an obstacle. Okay. I guess I should preach. Man, I took up a lot of time with my tangent about social media and all of the other stuff. But isn't it great that Janelle's back? Let's just put the focus off of Jared for a second. I'm super stoked that Janelle's back. Okay, we're gonna launch into it. So we've been talking about Luke. We've been going through the book of Luke, little bits at a time, and so far we've made it through 6 chapters between the devotions that are on YouTube, which are now discontinued, and the messages on Sunday and Sunday night. So we've gotten through a good chunk of the book. We've gotten through like a quarter of it, maybe a little less than a quarter of it. By the end of the year, we'll have finished Luke. I'll probably take a break. Maybe we'll do a break and talk about relationships or social media or something fun like that, or technology as a whole. That'd be a good one. But yeah, we're going through Luke. We're going to start chapter 7 today, and we're going to see Jesus heal a couple people, which raises a question: who does Jesus heal? So I want to ask a somewhat sensitive question. Have you ever prayed for healing and then God didn't answer that prayer request? When I was young, I had a cousin who I called Aunt because she was like 30 years older than me. Because, people don't always have kids back to back. Sometimes there's a gap. Anyway, I had a cousin named Connie, and I loved my cousin Connie, my Aunt Connie, as I called her. She lived an interesting lifestyle, though. She had diabetes, which, is pretty common. That didn't stop her from drinking Dr. Pepper like a case a day. And and she watched a lot of soap operas. I remember that because when she would babysit me, I'd be over at her place and she would watch soap operas. I don't understand soap operas. I don't at all. Other than the fact that Xenon Girl of the 21st Century ended up starring in a soap opera. It's the only time I was ever considered being interested in a soap opera because I had a crush on Xenon Girl of the 21st Century. But anyway, Aunt Connie, she would also pay me to vacuum the church because she was in charge of that, and she would just kind of pass on $20 to me to vacuum the church. She got the better of that deal. She made money off of me, I realize now. But either way, I got paid to vacuum the church. Then again, 20 was a lot back then. That was like 3 hours worth of minimum wage. But she got sick. She was working in the church, and she scraped some stuff out of the ceiling, and there was asbestos. Asbestos is nasty stuff. She inhaled it, ended up having to go to the hospital, really bad health for a while. Like, she puffed up huge. We prayed for her. And she made it out of the hospital. Like, they treated her. She made it out. But then her diabetes kept getting worse. So then they ended up having to amputate her leg, and then she ended up back in the hospital, and I prayed, and eventually she passed away. And I didn't understand why God didn't heal her. And the same thing happened with my dad. So my dad, I mentioned before, he was an alcoholic and he smoked. And that's not great for your health, and that usually has ramifications later on. So he ended up getting throat cancer. And they probably could have treated it, but because he had been an alcoholic his whole life, his liver couldn't handle it. So he ended up passing away from throat cancer. And I remember both of those, praying for healing and then not seeing God heal. And now, I think I mentioned this to y'all before, so I've been going through a lot of health stuff recently, and I'm still in this in-between of not knowing what's going on, what's going to happen. But at first I was really freaking out. Like, is this going to be terminal? Is this going to be something that claims my life? What is going on? How bad is this going to be? And I went through a few hard days, really emotional days. And God started to point out some stuff, some promises he's made for the future as ways of saying, hey, like, don't overreact with this. And also, God asked me to pray for healing, not pray for peace, not pray for a good diagnosis. God told me to start praying for healing, to start asking for prayer for healing, not just for the doctors to do well. And that's what I tend to do, because I've had these experiences in my past where I prayed for healing and nothing happened. So I want to know, like, have you ever done that? Have you ever asked God for healing for someone that you loved and God didn't heal them? Maybe they passed away, or maybe there have just been continued complications, if their health still isn't great. Because we're going to go through a couple passages where Jesus heals people, and we're going to look at, like, what kind of people did Jesus heal? What was going on then? Who did Jesus show compassion for? So let's just launch into this. But first, I'm going to pray for us. Dear Jesus, I pray that you would be with us in this talk, Lord. I pray that you would comfort people who, like me, have prayed for healing and just feel like I haven't seen you answer my prayers, Lord. As we discuss this text, as we discuss the Bible here, Luke 7, Lord, please speak to each and every one of us. I pray that each of us would leave with something. Pray that each of us would hear your voice tonight and live a different life as a result. Whether that means we start doing different things, or whether that means we think differently, or we believe something different about ourselves. Lord, I pray that you would transform us tonight. So it starts out, this is the beginning of verse 7. So if you have a Bible, I encourage you to grab it right now. If you don't have it open, you can open to chapter 7. If you don't have it in front of you, go grab it. Open it to chapter 7, Luke 7. So I'm going to read, starting at the beginning. It's, when Jesus had finished saying all this to the people who were listening, he entered Capernaum. Capernaum would be how it's pronounced. So this is right after Jesus had finished doing a bunch of teaching. So we talked about this before. The very beginning of Luke talks about Jesus getting prepared for ministry. It's like his birth, John the Baptist preparing the way for him, Jesus going into the wilderness to be prepared after being baptized, Jesus being empowered by the Spirit when he starts his ministry. So the first part of Luke is the preparation for ministry. The second part is Jesus responding to criticism. So you'll notice it immediately launches into the Pharisees and the scribes and the teachers of the law, challenging him on certain questions, challenging him on things that they've debated. So Jesus enters those discussions and gives what is the final word. This is God talking. We know, looking back, that this is God. They had no clue. So they're challenging Jesus. Jesus responds, giving the answers that we now have, that we can now trust and listen to, that we can live our life based off of. So he goes through this teaching section that in Matthew is called Sermon on the Mount. It's the same teaching, just worded differently, different perspectives on that, emphasizing different aspects of the sermon. So the Sermon on the Mount. Then after this, we're here. So Jesus finished saying all this to the people, the teaching. And then he goes to Capernaum, which is his home. Like, this is his home base. They didn't have like a church in the way that we do. Like, I would call Summit my church. Like, this is where I launched to do ministry from. For them, it was more cities, and you would have local synagogues. So Capernaum was Jesus' city where he would go out to do ministry and he'd come back here. So in Capernaum, there's a centurion's servant whom his master valued highly and was sick and about to die. So centurions were Roman. They were Roman army men. They controlled, I believe it was 80 people, 80 soldiers. And they would have servants and other people to help. So he had a servant that was highly valued and was sick and about to die, so near death. The centurion heard of Jesus and sent some elders of the Jews to him, asking him to come and heal his servant. So the centurion sends people to Jesus rather than going himself. And that might sound like he's being arrogant and thinking, well, I don't need to go. I shouldn't put myself out. But that's actually not the case, and I'll explain that in a little bit. When they came to him, the Jewish elders, they pleaded earnestly with him. This man deserves to have you do this because he loves our nation and has built our synagogue. So Jesus went with them. So they're saying the centurion deserves to have his prayer answered because of what he's done for Israel. And if you think about it, this goes back to Genesis 12, the Abrahamic covenant, which people talk a lot about, where it's the reason given a lot for why we need to pray for Israel is because God says, the nations will be blessed through you. Those who bless you will be blessed. Those who curse you will be cursed. Now, Israel's no longer under the Abrahamic covenant, so it's kind of weird using that. And yet, here, it definitely still is. So maybe this is their way of saying this person has blessed Israel, so he should be blessed as well. But this is a very rich person. Centurions were very well off. This guy had servants. This guy ruled a bunch of people. He had a good salary. This guy was a well-off person. Jesus, this is Jesus, was not far from the house when the centurion sent his friends to say to him, Lord, don't trouble yourself, for I do not deserve to have you come under my roof. Two things I want to say about this. First off, I've been to Capernaum. It's not a very big town, so it's not like there was a big gap in time here. Like, Jesus would not have been walking that long before he got close to the house, and the centurion sent some people out. So the centurion sends some friends out to stop Jesus and say, I do not deserve to have you come under my roof. In other words, I'm not worthy to have you come under my roof. So the centurion was probably what was called a God-fearer, someone who believed in God, who believed in the God that the Israelites worshipped, even though he was not Jewish by nationality. So he was probably accepted into their faith by worshiping God, and that's why he built the synagogue. And yet he was still considered a Gentile. He was still kind of on the outside. And Jews, strictly practicing Jews, wouldn't go into a Gentile's house because that house might be or probably was considered unclean. So that goes back to all those Old Testament laws, like purity laws, like what makes you unclean, what keeps you clean. So they would consider going into a Gentile's house unclean because perhaps they've worshipped idols in there. Perhaps they don't keep to the other cleanliness laws that the Jews kept to. So this centurion was aware of that, and that's why he initially sent to him, because he's considered a Gentile, and maybe Jesus, being such a highly respected Jewish rabbi, wouldn't want to associate with him. So he's just being polite by sending some Jews to Jesus rather than going himself. And then telling Jesus he didn't have to come under his house because he was concerned about Jesus becoming unclean. So he's saying, I am not worthy for you to come into my house. But say the word and my servant will be healed. For I myself am a man under authority with soldiers under me. I tell this one, go, and he goes, and that one, come, and he comes. I say to my servant, do this, and he does it. So this is really interesting. The centurion connects his own life experience and helps him understand Jesus. And that's actually really important because we do have the Bible, and the Bible should always guide what we believe about God. And yet, we also have all of these life experiences that help us understand God. And the centurion did that. So the centurion had wisdom about who God was just because of understanding his own life and the way the world worked. And I love Jesus' response. So when Jesus heard this, he was amazed at him, and turning to the crowd following him, he said, I tell you, I have not found such great faith even in Israel. Then the men who had been sent returned to the house and found the servant well. So I have talked about this before in the beginning of Luke. Luke makes this point that Jesus amazed the prophets before he was even born and after he was born. Like, these prophets and priests were amazed by him, the text shows. And then later on, it says that the scribes, like the Pharisees, the teachers of the law, were amazed by him. The Greek word there is thaumazo. Say with me, thaumazo. Fun fact, if you didn't know this, Greek accents probably represented pitch changes, not like emphasizing parts of the words. So it was probably pronounced thaumazo. So say with me, thaumazo. So the Greek word there is thaumazo, which means amazed. And it's exactly what it sounds like. Like, oh my gosh, I'm amazed by this. So Jesus amazed the prophets, he amazed the priests, he amazed the scribes and the teachers of the law. And then the first person that amazes Jesus is a centurion, this person who did not grow up as a Jew, who grew up as a Roman, who's part of the people who are occupying Israel. This person is partly responsible for the oppression of Israel. He's part of the system that is oppressing them, that's keeping them from having their own nation. And this person's faith amazes Jesus. And this should tell us right off the bat that Jesus does not favor the Jews. Does not favor the Jews at all. Even though he did come to the land of the Jews, he came for the Gentiles just as much as for the Jews. So he came for this person who was clearly part of this oppressive system, but was a good person. And this person's faith amazed Jesus. And the thing here is that, like, it seems like faith for Jesus is very important. And it finishes by saying that the servant was healed. And I find this interesting because Luke doesn't even record Jesus praying for the servant. Maybe Jesus did, or maybe God healed the servant just because of how great the faith of the centurion was. Maybe that was enough. That Jesus respected this faith so much that he just healed the servant. Either way, the servant is healed. And then we have this next account. So soon afterward, Jesus went to a town called Nain. Probably Nain. I didn't look it up, the pronunciation. But Nain, we're going to call it Nain. And his disciples and a large crowd went along with him. As he approached the town gate, a dead person was being carried out. Side point, if any of you have seen Weekends at Bernie's, I don't know if there's anything inappropriate in that, but not that kind of being carried out. This person was probably being carried out on what was the equivalent of a stretcher. So a dead person was being carried out. He was the only son of his mother, and she was a widow. And a large crowd from the town was with her. So this was very important. Luke points this out, and to us it doesn't seem that significant, but in this culture it was. So women very rarely held jobs. They didn't have a job at all. So when their husband passed away, it would fall to her sons, to take care of her, to make sure she had enough money, to make sure she had enough food, to give her a place to live. So if her sons passed away, she was basically homeless. She wouldn't own the property. She wouldn't have enough money to pay for food. She didn't have any sell her property. She'd be out of her luck. So she was a widow, and her only son had died. This is quite important because Jesus is spoiler, Jesus is about to raise him from the dead. But notice here how little attention Luke gives to the dead son. So this is a healing, but who's being healed here? So a dead person was being carried out, the only son of his mother, and she was a widow, and a large crowd from the town was with her. When the Lord saw her, his heart went out to her, and he said, "Don't cry." So notice, the first thing is he's concerned about her emotions. And let me tell you this real quick. This is going to be another really short tangent, but a tangent nonetheless, but a very related tangent. God cares about our emotions. Never let someone tell you to just ignore your emotions. Our emotions are important. They give us a signal as to what's going on inside. So if we just try and smother our emotions, that's not healthy for us. We also don't want to give our emotions too much credit. We never want to just say whatever I'm feeling is the gospel truth. Our emotions are important, and we need to respect each other's emotions, and we need to respect our own emotions. If we feel angry, why are we angry? If we feel sad, why are we sad? And as friends and family members, brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, we all need to respect other people's emotions and empathize with them, which means like if someone's going through a hard time, go with them through that. I know that's hard, but go with them through that. Be with them through that. It's very important. Our emotions are so important. God gave us these emotions. And many people would say that our emotions are tied to God. This is something that God gave us because it's also part of his nature. So this is part of our nature as image bearers of God, is these emotions. So please never be the kind of person who would stuff your emotions. So the first thing he addresses is her emotional state. He says, don't cry. And that's not a don't cry, suck it up. He's addressing her emotional state. And then he went up and touched the bier, which would have been that cot, that like cot thing they were moving, a stretcher. Touched the bier they were carrying him on, and the bearers stood still. And this would be very shocking, by the way, especially in Israel, to go up and touch. I mean, it'd be shocking now, people carrying a dead body, and you go up and you touch the thing that they're carrying the dead body on. So he goes up and touches that, and they're shocked. They stand still. And he said, young man, I say to you, get up. The dead man sat up and began to talk, and Jesus gave him back to his mother. And notice again how it finishes by him giving him to his mother. So Jesus raises the dead, and yet you get the feeling that he's not raising the dead for the sake of the mother. He's raising the dead for the sake of, if he is raising the dead for the sake of the mother, not for the son. He is healing the son of, the condition of being dead, but he's healing this mother's condition of being outcast and not taken care of, her being poor, and now being thrown out of society, no way of supporting herself. He's taking care of her. He's healing her. But I also want to point out that he touched that stretcher. I mentioned that before. So as a Jew, I also talked about purity laws before. Going anywhere near a dead body makes you unclean. Touching a dead body, or the thing that the dead body has touched, is like, you are now really unclean. So Jesus goes up and he touches this bier, this stretcher, making himself unclean, but then he raises the dead. Here's the deal. In the previous story, the centurion went through all of this trouble to keep Jesus from becoming unclean. But Jesus wasn't concerned with that at all, and we see that here. Jesus is absolutely not concerned about being unclean. He cares more for the people he's trying to reach than about being unclean. So here's the question I want to pose to you is, who is the person you don't want to associate with because you're afraid they're going to make you look unclean? Who's the person that you don't want to be friends with because you're worried what everyone else will think about you? I'm going to give an example from my personal life. One of our best friends, literally this person lived with us for, I think, the first, for a year, not right after we're married, but a year after we're married. This person moved in with us. She needed a place to live. So she lived with us for a while. She moved out right before our son was born. So she lived with us for about a year in a small apartment. This person is very close to us. And right now, she has chosen to live an actively gay lifestyle. She is married to another woman. And for me, as a pastor, I feel pressured to let my actions be a stance that I'm taking. I feel how much can I associate with someone who people in my church might wonder what my beliefs are, might wonder what I think about that. And a lot of times we see this online, like people will say, "Oh, why did this person go there?" That like one of the things I see is like there's a lot of hate on Bethel Church in the church community as a whole. And if a worship leader goes and leads worship at Bethel, or if they go and speak at Bethel, then the whole Christian community is like, oh, is that the kind of people they associate with? They're like a Bethel worship leader now. So we get really mad because of who people associate with. And I feel that pressure too of like, well, do I feel like the need to explain myself to people for being friends with this person? And Jesus' model is no. We love people first, not people's perception of us. Our love for people is far more important than what people think about us. So if you ever wonder like, oh, can I be friends with this person? What will people think of if I invite this person over? It's always more important to love that person than to worry about what people perceive about you, what people think about you. So there's something that's very important because Jesus did that. Jesus was totally fine being unclean, totally fine with whatever people wanted to think about him as long as he could love those in need. And then there's one last little section here. They were filled with awe and praised God. A great prophet has appeared among us, they said. God has come to help his people. This news about Jesus spread throughout Judea and the surrounding country. So he's now becoming really popular. People are starting to follow him. But I want to draw your attention here. Sorry. Hi, Layla. I'm like right in an intense part. But hi, how are you doing? Sorry, I wasn't trying to not associate with you. I love you very much, and I'm glad you're here. So they said, God has come to help his people. So who is his people? According to this, you have everyone from this rich centurion to the servant of the rich centurion to this widow to the son. Like Jesus came for the rich, the poor, for men, for women. And we're going to see this, and we're going to see this more at the end of chapter 7, that Jesus came to flatten all of these mountains that we've made in culture. These mountains where this person's up here, this person's down here. How many of you remember me talking about the patron-client system in Rome? I'm sure all of you have, because that is fascinating, right? So they had, if anyone does, please throw it up in chat. But they had what was called a patron-client system. And what this meant is you would typically have a patron, someone to take care of you, who's one step above you in society. So this started at the Caesar. So the Caesar would be at the top, and then there'd be the Senate below them, and then the nobility below them. And they would be responsible for taking care of the people below them, and they wouldn't associate 2 levels down. You would associate with 1 level down. So the Senate did not associate with the common people. They associated with the nobility. The nobility associated with whatever was that level, and they would kind of work their way down. But here we see Jesus healing the servant of the centurion, answering the centurion's prayer request. The centurion would be at the top of the rung in Capernaum. So Jesus is now the patron, the benefactor, the one who takes care of this centurion. But also Jesus is the one who takes care of this widow down at the bottom of society. So Jesus takes care of everyone. All people are his people. So then the answer I have to come to, other than so God healing. Here's another point I want to say before I make this point. So the centurion reached out to Jesus, and Jesus went to heal. The widow never asked Jesus for healing, which leads me to the conclusion that God does not heal just because of our faith. Now, faith does seem to play a part. Like we're asked to have faith. God talks about faith a lot. If you have faith to move a mountain, if you have the faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains, that kind of thing. We are supposed to have faith, and that's supposed to grow. Pow, pow, faith. And that's, Lele, spoilers, we're getting to that. We're supposed to have faith, But then also, God doesn't need our faith in order to heal. So God has a reason for healing as well as a reason for not healing. So we should pray for healing, knowing that God cares about us and loves us, and pray for healing for others because we know that God cares about and loves them, even if God chooses not to heal them. And if God chooses not to heal them, there is a reason, because God doesn't need us. It's never our fault for God not healing. It's because God has a reason. So I just encourage you, continue to grow in your faith, continue to believe that God can heal, continue to pray for God to heal, just like God's been challenging me to pray for healing, but then to trust God. God has an eternal perspective. God sees all of time and space. God sees from the beginning to the end and knows how all of these things will affect the world in the future. So God has a reason for everything that he does. But God does love us, and he, even if he doesn't bring physical healing, wants to be with us. But that never means that we don't pray for physical healing. So God wants to heal, but sometimes what God wants to heal is different than what we want God to heal. Dear Jesus, I pray that you would heal. I'm just going to pray selfishly. Lord, please heal me, whatever's going on with me. And I pray for healing for everyone in this youth group, Lord, that whatever they're going through, whatever they need healing for, I pray that you would bring healing. Lord, I also pray that you would grow our faith, that we would have the faith of the centurion who believes that you can heal even if the person doesn't realize that we're praying for healing, or even if we don't feel your presence, you can heal. We don't need to shout out our prayers, that we can pray and you have the authority to heal. But Lord, I pray that you would also use us to bring healing to the widows, the orphans, the people who need you, the people who are outcasts. Lord, I pray that we would be just as willing to make ourselves unclean as you were. Pray that we'd be just as willing to go out into society, to reach out to the people who are not cool, to reach out to the people who are outcast, to reach out to the people who are awkward, to reach out to the people who don't smell like we think they should, to go out to those people and to bring you, to be Jesus to them, not worrying about what people think about us. I pray this all in your name. Amen. Any questions? I know I asked some questions as we're going, but then it's always a little awkward to then sit around waiting. But if you have any questions, throw them up in chat. I'd love to respond. I'm obviously also going to pull up Quiplash, so whoever wants to play can do that. But I'd love to answer questions first, because I'm sure there are some other people out there who have prayed for healing and haven't seen it, and that's hard. It's not an easy thing ever, unless your faith is just way better than mine. But yeah, God loves everyone. Here's the deal: is the thing I want most for this youth group is that we would love God. We would truly love God, meaning we wouldn't just obey God. We wouldn't just follow God's commandments, but we would really love God. And also that we would love those around us without condition. That the church around us, that the people around us, that the world around us would look at us and think, man, they are just incredibly mature for their age. Like, these people have reached a level of maturity and wisdom that I would not expect of people their age. And that's just because we love people without condition. Because when you love people that's true maturity. True maturity is loving people without condition. That's it. The more you speak about people and act towards people in loving ways, the more mature you're going to be. The more you can take the fiery darts and the things people throw at you to hurt you, and you can turn it back into, man, why are you doing that? How can I love you through this? Like, what is going on in your life that would make you want to hurt me? If you can get to that point, then I don't care what age you are, you're an adult. You are a mature adult. If you can turn someone's hatred around and think, how can I turn this into a ministry opportunity? Because you obviously need something right now. Then, man, you're more mature than I am, because I'm still learning. I don't see any questions. That all makes sense. How do you, I'm curious as I'm starting up Jackbox. I really want a response here. How do you all like the new sermon format of just going through large text, like this is called expository, where we're just launching through large amounts of the Bible, big sections of the Bible and talking about it? Because honestly, I love this. I love whenever I can mention the Greek word that I know about because I went through 7 years of Bible training in college. But I also don't want to throw it at you if you don't care. So if I could say thaumazo, if you'd like, I could just read it in Greek because it's fun. Also, fun fact, the only thing I remember from Hebrew right now is how to pronounce. Like, I could not translate anything, but I can definitely. So Quiplash is not up yet. It will be up soon though. But you'll go to jackbox.tv on a browser of your choice. Jackbox.tv, and it'll show it on the screen too when I get it up. Yeah, here's the deal. I just want to preach in a way that helps you all. So if this is not helpful, I'm not looking for feedback because I want to know whether or not, y'all love me. This is not about acceptance. It's about me wanting to make sure that you guys are getting this, that you guys are getting something from this. Oh gosh, it's so loud. It's so loud! Need to find a way of sending audio through to you guys without having it cranked on the speakers here, so it hits my mic. Well, yeah, I'm grateful. Yeah, I like preaching like this. I like telling you about the scripture, about walking you through this, and honestly, my goal would be that you all would finish a sermon knowing more about that passage so that when you read it, you would remember what we talked about. Like, you would understand more about the Bible because of it. That's my goal, really. I want you guys to know more about the Bible. How do I say this? Most of the stuff I say in a sermon, you're gonna forget. But if I can explain the Bible, and that means when you pull open the Bible, you'll remember more about that than a sermon. If I give you, like, hey, here's the application, within a week, probably pretty early on that week, you're gonna forget what I told you. But the Bible is something that's gonna be around forever, so even in Fahrenheit 451, it's around. Okay, I should probably log on quickly so that I have control. Nope, I lost it. Stoopy! Y'all need to we need to start a band or something and call it, like, I don't know, whoever the lead singer is and the Stoopies. Oh, we'll call it Gavin and the Stoopies. That'll be it. And we'll put Gavin and his keyboard right front center and everyone else will be behind. I know you're the original Stoopy. I will never forget that. I will never forget that you're the original Stoopy. Please forgive me as I blow my nose, because allergies, not the Rona. Though I love all of the memes with Baby Yoda and the Rona. Like one of them. Please excuse me. Like that. Pronouncing it. Are we all in there? Is anyone else trying to get in? Because I'm cool waiting. I think, Caleb, does that mean you're trying to get in still? There we go. Now you can hit go, and if anyone else is still trying to get in, you can join the audience even after we've started. So go ahead and hit go. Who's Nelly is the question. So I get the feeling that Brooklyn is Stoopy. And Michaela is Stoopy 2. I'm Stoopy 3.
Schmitty, and according to my guidance counselor, this is
Caleb
the only job I'm
is
qualified
Caleb.
for. I can
Gab,
tell I'm
we got
about
God.
to learn
So
a
Nelly
lot about
is
each of you, and I'm at peace with that.
Emily?
And remember, any extra players can join the audience at any time by entering the room code. Audience members' votes count. Here's round 1. You'll get 2 prompts on your device. Just answer them however you want. Your responses, or quips, will be pitted against someone else's, and everyone will vote on their favorite. You'll score points based on the percentage of people who prefer your answer. Have at it.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Of course you're Nelly. Silly Jared. I honestly have no clue how I'm going to do this round. I didn't hate my answers this time.
Time's running out. Use a safety clip if you need it. Cards on the table. Our first prompt is something David Schwimmer probably repeats to himself every day.
I have no clue
Okay, use your
who
device.
that.
to
Oh
pick
my
your favorite.
gosh. I don't need to know who that is. That is wonderful. Who's David Schwimmer? It doesn't matter. Just keep swimming. Swimming is so wonderful. Oh, that's okay. I don't know actors' names. Okay. I love the videos of him with no laugh track. He's totally sounds like a serial killer.
Time to vote.
I don't know what the time gap is, so I don't know when I can say what I'm voting for because I don't want to affect the vote. Oh man. Wow, these first two. That's harsh. Both of these have been super harsh. Oh man.
Okay, next one. A terrible thing to say to the bouncer.
Now I'm gonna
checking
get
your
no
fake
votes.
ID.
I know it. It's been so harsh.
And vote.
Yeah, I got a vote. Yay! It's even. Woo! Emily went easy on me.
Next on the list, a fun thing to do in a grocery store when no one is looking. Okay, vote.
Oh gosh, those are both funny. It'd be really funny to see footprints on the doors of the fridges. But unscrewing all the milk bottles is really funny.
Moving on. What a lazy cowboy names his horse. Get to voting.
I feel like that a lot with answers, Emily. I'm like, I don't know what to say here. What this- Yay! I didn't get one of the, you know, unanimous ones, but hey, I won.
Next on deck, a troubling thing to notice on your shirt tag, 2%
Milk.
blank. Put in your votes.
Oh my gosh. But is polyester plastic? That was my whole thing, is polyester plastic? Because I feel like they might be. I don't know.
Alvin and the Chipmunks, 12 blank.
What even is plastic?
Ready, set, vote.
Oh my gosh. Oh, these are both funny. Oh gosh, I don't know what to vote for. That one. You're all waiting for me. Well, no one else liked the jorts. I thought jorts was funny, but I didn't vote for it. Sorry, Caleb. I never watched Friends,
And
Layla,
next,
so I don't
what trees think
know any
when
of
we
the
take
Friends
their
references.
sap. Vote on your devices. My juices. No! I heard the trees in my head. Round 1 is behind us. Let's see how you scored.
I'm right in the middle of the pack. I'm okay with that.
Round 2 is pulling into the station with double the points and bonuses.
This is what really matters. Gavin, are you in the lead? I didn't see. You got, you have to be, huh? You got 2 unanimous ones. I didn't see. I was more concerned about where I was in the pack. You know what desserts are really quiet to eat? These right here, fortune cookies. If I ate this, you wouldn't even notice. Watch, I'll show you.
Marie, hit the safety quit button if you can't think of something. Let's put up those quips. The first prompt is a warning that should come with spray-on cheese. Okay, select your favorite quip.
Why would you think that, Gavin? I don't know if you guys were tortured by the trailers for that Invisible Man movie. That
Up next,
it was just
the
like,
worst
it
thing
was
to say
all,
as you enter a tough
they would
biker
play
bar.
it like before everything,
away.
like including kids stuff. They would suddenly play this trailer for a horror film. But the best was someone did a meme of her saying, "He's in here. He's in here. You just can't see him." And then it had, was it Drax or whatever his name was from Guardians of the Galaxy. moving so slowly. That was the best.
The best way to get out of a corn maze.
Gavin is just winning this.
It's voting time.
Let's just give it up. Gavin is going to win. Gavin is going to unseat Brooklyn as the best Quiplash player. Shame on you two for not voting for my private chat. That was hilarious, and you know it.
A sign you may be a terrible babysitter. Vote now.
Oh man. Well, I mean, the question is how dirty is the baby? Because maybe it's necessary. I put Ember in there all the time. Fastest way to bathe her. I'm sure if Jamie's watching this live stream, she's packing up the kids right now.
Next up, a get well card for someone injured by a robot. Get to voting.
Wow, Gavin didn't get a unanimous. Oh man. Whew. And what's funny is the only two people who voted for you were the two stoopies that didn't have an answer.
It's voting time.
I found yours funny. I voted for yours. But you got unseated. I have to admit, I didn't understand tough stains. Okay. It was a safety quip. I'm like, am I missing a cultural reference here?
Next prompt.
I'm so bad at understanding cultural
game that would have been huge in the 1800s.
cultural references. I wouldn't be surprised.
Vote on your devices.
I like my answer, but I'm fairly certain it's not gonna win. Well, or it gets a unanimous. Thank you all. I liked Caleb's answer.
And next is, besides counting rings, the other way you can tell the age of a tree is to blank. Ready, set, vote.
Huh. I would say, you know, yell it loudly to tell the age of a tree. Ouch. You had that audience vote though, Layla. Yeah,
Round two
that's
is
rough,
through.
Caleb.
Let's see what it did to the scores.
Gavin's got to still be in the lead. Oh! Oh! Owned! I mean, I have to do well on this, which please don't be acrolash.
And
Please
now
don't be
round
acrolash.
three, the last
don't be
lash.
acrolash.
This time you'll all be answering the same prompt.
No! I hate acrolash. It's the
Make up
worst.
the full name for this acronym.
Hate these. I'm definitely not gonna... You know, Janelle, I believe in you, though. I really do believe in you. Did Emily get it in time? Not sure.
Okay, here we go. It's round 3, so you've got 3 medals to award. A gold, a silver, and a bronze. Make your picks.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm not gonna win. You're gonna pass me up, Gavin, I'm sure. I hate Acrolash. I always do horrible with it.
Brace yourselves, here come those medals. Bronze.
Oh, Emily did get her some time.
Bring out the silver.
Amy.
And gold.
One
All right,
vote,
let's turn that into cold hard points.
One vote! I beat you, Gavin! Oh no! Did someone else beat me, though? Did you and I both get beat? This could happen. Oh man.
Okay, let's see those final scores.
Oh gosh. Did Emily pass me? I think Emily passed me. Oh, it was so close! Yay! Okay, let's do new players just in case anyone had to leave, or so go ahead and hit new players and we'll I still exist. That was so close. So I'm super excited because y'all are gonna get a worship song from Emily this week. So that's gonna happen. What was the song, Emily? It was Great Things.
And it's your game, assuming you paid for it.
Let's keep an eye on Instagram.
Well, everyone's on time for once. I think we all know who I mean. Let's begin. This is round 1. The more folks who choose your answer, the more points you get.
Whoever voted for my onomatopoeia, Fred, that was the one that kept me in the lead. Oh man. Do I want to go for votes or for me enjoying my own answer? I have to entertain myself first, right?
Clock's running out.
15 seconds.
Use a safety quip.
It's really less than that. 10 seconds, but less than it really. Oh no, hurry up. No, we're almost 7. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. Hurry up, 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 hurry up. Gavin.
Time for the big reveal. Starting us off, the worst catchphrase for a Star Trek captain. Okay, pick your favorite quip now.
I like that both of these are inside jokes for Star Trek fans. I appreciate that. I mean, I knew mine was going to be because I love Star Trek. Oh, tie. Nice, Caleb. It was a pleasure going up against you on that one. A doctor, not a physicist,
The
Jim.
one thing they don't show you on the Pentagon tour is the secret blank room. Time to vote.
And those are both funny. I like those. But I had to vote for one. I had to vote for one. If I didn't vote for you, it's not because I didn't love your answer. Who is I Still Exist?
Next on the list, what a moron would say at a museum. Vote away.
Oh boy. Oh boy, good work, people. Good work. I keep seeing the room code, and it reminds me of Wheel of Time, because the festival at the beginning of the series is Bell Time.
Okay, vote.
I still exist as a person that you used to know? Somebody that I used to know? I probably still know everyone. But I want to know who it is. Like, what is their first name?
Moving on. Something you might find in George W. Bush's living room. And vote.
Oh, Yeah, I have to vote for that. That is a variation on an answer I've given for this before, and that made it so much better. Good job, Stoopy 2. I do like Twinkies, but a Bush named George. Ooh. Good job, Stoopy 2.
Okay, next one. A weird button in James Bond's car is simply labeled blank. Put in your votes.
Now here's the question. Does the button itself say nothing button, or does it say nothing? And it's a button that says nothing. Because that's important. Oh, you got me. You got me, Nelly. No, Brooklyn, I believe I'm Stoopy. It says so right there.
Next prompt. What should be dumped on the losing coach at the end of a football game?
Battery acid.
Get to voting.
Good job, Layla.
And next,
That one caught me off guard.
the name of a figure skating move yet to be successfully pulled off. Time to vote.
Oh, man. Had anyone put the move from Blades of Glory, I definitely would have voted for it. I don't remember what it's called. But, oh man, I would have recognized it had I seen it. It's so funny. Oh boy. Oh, nice. It's the best thing that can happen when a couple goes against each other.
That's it. Let's see the scores for round one.
Love and affection of Jesus Christ.
Round 2 is here, so let's double the points and bonuses, shall we?
Alright, let's see if I can be funny. I don't know. I feel good about my answers this round. And whenever I feel good about my answers, it means I do horribly. But it's okay, because the room code is Tyne, like Beltane. So everything's fine.
Okay, I hope you all make me proud.
Except for the whole Trolloc invasion. That's
the turn
horrible.
for a large group of bedbugs. Okay, pick your favorite.
Man, I don't know which one I appreciate more. I have to go with the one that's literal. Because one is definitely not a term. I appreciated it, but... Yeah, sorry, Emily.
Next in line, the worst person to be on a plane with would constantly blank. And vote.
I do have to say, I was super proud of my answer on this one, and it's the reason I'm gonna get fired. I can't believe I didn't win with kill passengers. You all are the worst. How is having to pee in the inside seat
Sonic the Hedgehog would
worse than killing passengers?
Gold rings for? Ready, set, vote.
I did not watch the Sonic movie, mostly because I don't care about a movie about Sonic. Those video games were not story heavy, but that's a funny one, so I voted for it. Who did we lose? We lost someone. We lost two? No.
Next on deck, what the hare
We're missing
did
one
with his
person
life after
voting.
losing to the tortoise. Vote on your devices.
Why do you know? Why do you? I get your humor, Gavin. I keep voting for you, even though I don't want you to win because you did so well in the first game. Layla, that hurts. It hurts that you describe depression so well.
Your next prompt is the title of a tell-all book by a former My Little Pony. Okay, vote.
Oh man. I really just want a Twinkie now. Like y'all keep talking about Twinkies. Yeah, but you're at least still alive. And it'd be really funnier, way funnier if they went pew instead of pee. Like they get up and they just go pew, pew.
Coming up next, what most people don't know about ostriches. Vote away.
I'm just so disappointed I didn't do better this round. I mean, this is my last chance right here. But, dude, I thought that first answer was so good. Kill passengers? We're like losing voters one at a time. We had 6 voters. We had, you know, we had 8 people participating, and then it dropped to 7, and then now to 5.
So goofy. One episode
or 6.
saw Batman and Robin fighting.
I can count. I promise.
It's voting time.
Nice try, Brooklyn. Nice try. I'm not gonna vote for that. The other one's funnier. Ah! Ah! The majority doesn't care about your answer. I'm kidding.
And next is the name of an animated movie that stars a surfing cow. Vote now.
You all rock this game. I'm sorry. Awesome. Brooklyn, I literally did to you what you just did to Gavin with the cat thing. So don't even try that. Janelle, yours was funny. Like, I got it. But Gavin's just made me... I mean, if it makes me audibly laugh.
That's all she wrote for round 2. Let's check the scores.
I'm in the same position. I have to do really well on this. Don't be Acrolash.
This is
better
round
not
3,
be.
The last.
I'm gonna turn you off if you are.
One final chance to catch up, and everyone gets the same prompt this time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Complete the comic.
I rebuke you, Gavin. I rebuke you. Screw! Screw! Acru? Okay, I'm not gonna give votes on this.
Let's see the responses.
I'm so bad at these anyway.
Decide who gets a medal.
Oh. Oh, man. Oh, now I think I thought of a better answer. You're so hipster, Gavin. You're so hipster.
Okay, who's taking home some medals? Bronze.
Yeah, I got a
Here's
vote.
the silver.
That's all that matters.
And gold. Now we
I got
transform
one
those
bronze
medals into
vote.
points.
One bronze vote. How did one It's to Die For get so many more votes than the other?
It's over.
How did
Let's
that-
see the final scores.
Are you talking to each other and conspiring? You're conspiring, aren't you? You all are conspiring. I know it. You were talking to each other and saying what to vote for. It's the only way one could have gotten that many more votes. But great job, Layla. You deserved it. Okay, it's 8:04, so your parents are here to pick you up. But we'll play more Quiplash on Thursday. Most likely, you watch your Courtney, you still exist. Why Why didn't she say hi or say hi through you? Bye, Caleb. Bye, everyone. It's been real. If Courtney hears me, hi. If she doesn't, let her know I said hi. I can't wait to see everyone, and I don't think it's going to be that long before we meet in a house, so we'll see when that rolls out, but I think that's going to be pretty dang soon. Hopefully I'll be able to put an announcement up. Oh, she is, okay. Well, hi, Courtney. Miss you. Hope you're surviving the pandemic well. All right, everyone. This has been real. This has been fun. I will see you all digitally this week. Expect many calls, well, many texts of announcements as well as saying hi. Peace out, y'all. See you on Thursday for some more Quiplash and Wednesday for devotions. Bring a Bible and a notebook. Peace out!